What's up, people? In this video, somebody wanted me to do this for some reason. Charm theory. Is this... Do looks matter to women in dating? Dog, I'm gonna save you the trouble and answer yes, they do matter. Like, is this, like... how is this, like, even a question? Of course they matter. Like, yes, period. Like, who even would, like, ask this question? Are they the only thing that matter? No. Okay, that's, I guess, well, whatever, let's just watch this. I'm sure it's all.
Looks, do they matter to women? How important are your looks in dating? The answer should be that looks don't matter, or they don't matter much, because in an ideal world, women should be intimate.
The answer should be that looks don't matter, or they don't matter much. I don't know, let's see where he's going.
And not for their looks, but for other qualities. But it's just reflected in real life. Okay, guys, already used to hear and today I'm going to break this down for you. And if you stick around, you'll see what I used to look like 7 years ago versus today. Firstly, let's see what women say, what they first...
I don't even want to, like, do I need to watch, like... Who... Do looks matter? They shouldn't. What? Like, who's gonna say looks shouldn't matter? Like, what? Okay, fine. I guess women say, I don't care what a guy looks like. That you understand that's just like, that's like lip service, right? Like, if women were like, I mean, okay, so what do they say? They're like, yeah, looks don't matter, but there needs to be attraction, right? Basically what this means is, like, yes, looks matter, but they're not the only thing that matters, right? So, I mean, you know, and women can't be like, yeah, I'll only go with guys who are, like, attractive, because it's not true. You know, there's plenty of guys who, like, have game or have money or have, like, some other sort of, like, redeemable qualities who can get girls. Like, how is this? Whatever. It's just...
noticing a guy.
The first thing that girls notice when they first are talking to a guy is the aggression. The next thing that girls notice while talking to a guy is basically his mannerisms. The next thing that girls notice is grooming.
Does a video by a YouTuber named Classic Spindle. Her top 3 are his greeting, his mannerisms, and grooming. This is another video from a YouTuber named Coco Chanel.
So the most important thing that a girl notices, in my opinion, is your overall mood and how you're acting. So if you're smiling, if you're happy. So the second thing is how you introduce yourself to the girl. The third thing that a girl notices about you is the way that you carry yourself or your stature.
So she's saying overall mood, how you introduce yourself to the girl, and the way you carry yourself. So in both videos, neither women mentioned if they notice if the guy is good looking or not. Women have a tendency to not mention how looks affect how they choose their partners, and even when they do, they downplay its effect. I'll discuss why in a sec. So how important are looks to women? This is a video by a professor of psychology, Dr. Frank Connor, where he talks about the psychology of love.
We are attracted to attractiveness. Babies spend more time looking at culturally attractive faces than unattractive faces. People who are artificially disfigured and they were sitting here, people wouldn't sit around them. This experiment was done in New York, having people on a subway train, and they had, you know, like a big scar or something. People would not sit by them. We migrate towards attractive people. Here's what's interesting: when you do surveys of women and men and women, men are right up front in placing attractiveness in their top 3. Women place it lower on their scale, 5, 6, 7, 8. But in fact, when you evaluate women's behavior, it's no different than men. So women say attractiveness doesn't matter, but in fact, when you evaluate their behavior, it does. So women say attractiveness doesn't matter, but in fact, when you evaluate their behavior, it does.
The truth is, women actually place the same amount of importance on looks as do men. That is, looks are equally important to women as they are to men. So guys, if you think about how much looks are important to you, that's exactly how women feel when they look at a man. Look at these 2 men. Now, without knowing anything about them, who do you think is more successful? Who do you think is more charming?
Okay. Everybody. Red pill people of the world. People who think that, like, because they weren't blessed with, like, genetically good looks, traditional good looks, like... You have to understand that looks matter, yes. Money matters, yes. Height matters, yes. Your fucking size of your muscles matters. All those things matter, but they're not the only thing that matters, okay? You can fucking talk your way into anything. And honestly, like, let's say looks are the only thing that matters, right? Well, okay, first of all, nobody can really know. Okay, you can do, like, a video and quote a study or whatever. But nobody really knows for sure. And before we even get into that, the fact is that there are plenty of guys out there who are not good looking and have no money and fucking do very well with girls. So how do you explain that? You know, like, it's not this whole, like, looks matter, looks are the only thing that matter. Women are lying about saying that, like, they don't care about looks. Like, this comes from a place of, like, tell me why it's not my fault that I'm bad with women, right? Tell me why, number 1, it's not my fault. Number 2, like, everyone's lying to me about whether or not looks matter. Number 3, tell me why, like, I shouldn't have to try because I can never improve my appearance and look like homie here, like, on the right. That's where this comes from. It's not coming from a good place, right? If it comes from a constructive place, thinking to yourself, okay, looks matter. Why don't I try and improve my looks as much as possible? But they're not the only thing that matters. So, you know, let me, like, work on other areas of my life too, because it's not. Like when the women said like overall mood, grooming, appearance, all that stuff matters too. You know what I mean? Like if you, let's say you're like super good looking, right? And you're at a party, there's a party going on, you're super good looking, but you're awkward, you're like shy, and you like your body language sucks, and you're just like standing in the corner by yourself. And then all of a sudden some like super fun guy, like great attitude, like loud, like confident, the alpha male of the group, but let's say he's short, he's fat, his fucking crooked nose. Who do you think is going to get more attention from the girls? Who do you think the girls are more likely to go after? If you said like the shy, creepy, like tall, good-looking guy, you're wrong. Like straight up, you're wrong. Like you should get out more, because that shit happens all the time. Anyway.
Intelligent, funny, witty, who do you think does well with women? You'll likely pick the man on the right. This phenomenon is called the halo effect. Good looks causes people to attribute positive things about you without knowing anything about you. Good looks has power and influence, and as mentioned in the previous study, people gravitate towards good-looking people. This is a reality TV show. It's called Dating in the Dark.
Behind these light-sealed doors, in this one room, 3 single women and 3 single men will meet in complete darkness.
Couples go on several dates in the dark, and during these dates, they get to know each other and even develop connections. In the end, the couples finally see each other in the light, and one of them makes a final decision on whether to see the date again or not.
Today is the day that I get to see Gina and she's gonna see me.
Him looking me up and down and not liking it, that's scary. Me not liking him, even though he's such a great guy, that's scary too. I want to like him in the light a lot. And I want him to like me, and I want it to just be a perfect fairy tale. Oh my god.
The guy seems happy about the girl. Now let's see how the girl feels.
She looks like a very sweet and nice person.
I'm like, this guy looks like 40.
Wow.
He's like kind of like total like real scruff, chubby face. He had a gut. Can I see this person on top of me? Like yes or no? No. Can I see this person on top of me? Like yes or no? No.
She's disappointed. Even with the connection they had, the guy's looks just wasn't up to her standards. Isn't personality enough for her to be able to see the guy on top of her? Nope. Now let's take a look at the second girl.
I'm about to go meet Jose and see him in the light for the first time, and it is a big deal. I mean, we've had connection in the dark, and you know, the light is really going to be a deciding factor in all of this. He has like perfect white teeth, like perfect, and he has dark eyes, silky, baby smooth skin. He was really, really cute, really cute. What do you think? I don't know if he would be someone that I'd be like, oh, you know, like I.
So this is Betsy. She finds him attractive. Now let's see what the girls decide.
I feel bad. I feel like superficial bitch right now, but I'm not going to force myself to be attracted to someone that I'm not attracted to.
The first girl leaves, which is up to no surprise. She feels bad about it, but she just cannot be with someone she's not physically into. What about the second girl?
I can't pretend like I want to date him when I'm not feeling that. It makes me feel bad.
She also leaves. Now, she was attracted to him physically, and the connection was also strong, but the physical attraction was not strong enough. This is why guys get flaked. You have to understand that as men, we rate women out of 10, and women do the same thing to us. So to her, this guy's like a 7, and she wants an 8. Some guys keep asking what they did wrong. They did this, and the girl was attracted.
Like, who is this video for? Like, who... I know the person who asked me to do this video, but I wonder, like, is this not... Okay, so what's the point of that? Very interesting show, by the way. I think that's interesting. I love reality TV. I'm fucking, like, the worst person in the world to, like, judge this shit. But, interesting show, I think. Okay, so what's the point? Is that you talk to people in the dark, and then you see what they look like, and if you are interested afterwards, then you go on a date or whatever. And the girls saw what the guys look like, and they're over it, so they don't want to date them. Why? Like, what's the problem here? Like, you know, why is that? Is this like, I don't understand. Is this like, is this bad? You know, because so here's the thing. Number one, there was a study, I forget what it was, but it was like, there was a study about people who like chatted on dating apps, right? I think it was dating apps, but they would chat on dating apps, and if they didn't know what the other person looked like, they would be more into the conversation. Like they would like be more willing to meet up and like be more into the conversation and like take it more seriously, I guess, as opposed to if they knew what they looked like. So there's also a little bit of that, like the mystery factor, which is not addressed in this at all. In this guy's video, he's not addressing that. That's number one. Number two, when you meet somebody in the dark and they're not able, like, okay, so I understand the premise of the show is like, you meet somebody in the dark, you're only able to judge them on their personality, which in theory, that sounds like it could be true, But the problem is that when you meet somebody in person, you're not just judging them on their looks, on what they look like. You're not like looking at a picture of them. You're judging them based on their charisma, based on their interaction with other people, based on their body language, all this other stuff that does not have to do with looks per se, but is still part of that like visual, like, you know, experiencing the other person, so to speak. Whereas if you just talk to them in the dark, like a 3-on-3 date, you're only going off of the words that they say, and I guess you could say the tonality of their voice, which is much different than like being able to like absorb somebody, whether or not they're charismatic. So that's that. And also, like, fucking straight up, dude, like, the girl doesn't think you're attractive, she doesn't have to date you. Like, and I guess that's the point. It's like, women only care about looks. But again, like I said, that doesn't take into account charisma, doesn't take into account social standing, doesn't take into account, like, you know, the level of, like, I guess popularity that you have, also very important.
Attractive, but what went wrong? The truth is you were a 7 to her and she wanted an 8. That's what went wrong. So much of the chemistry you hear women talk about all the time is based on the man's looks. Sure, personality has a lot to do with it, but if she's not into your looks, there's no basis for the chemistry. Some women initially say they don't care about looks, and they may even want to truly believe it, but they eventually learn they do care. The truth is a man's looks are very important to women.
He's not ugly.
Yeah.
But he's not my type.
Yeah, dude, look at this girl. She's a fucking stunner. You know? Obviously, like, well, whatever. Can't really get, like, a... you know, fake boobies, probably hair extensions, fake eyelashes. This is the type of girl that like walks into a club without paying at the door and fucking gets sat at a table with like high rollers and models. What does she want with this like weird looking like nerdy guy? Of course she's gonna have that reaction. How is this like, and I guess that's his point, which is that like, you know, like if this guy was on Tinder, he'd get swiped left, right? So like, but again, does that mean that looks are all that matter? No. But I guess the question of the title of this video is, do looks matter, right? Yes, of course, looks matter, definitely. But are they the only thing that matters? No. That's like the point of this video, right? Which maybe he'll address later, but like, you know, it's misleading, I guess, to like tell guys, well, women say looks don't matter, but when you look at their behavior, it's obvious that looks do matter, so therefore looks are the only thing that matters. Like, no, that's not true, right? And that seems to be the point that he's getting to here. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm putting words in his mouth. I don't know.
I cannot believe I let that kiss me. I've never been so disgusted in my life.
So women are no different to men on how they view looks in a potential mate. In fact, you could argue that looks matter more to women than to men because men are the less picky sex in general. So why do women say looks don't matter, or why do they downplay it? There are a number of reasons for this. The first one is social norms. It's socially acceptable for men to go for looks and to be openly public about it. It's not a shallow thing, it's how men are. But for women, it's not the case. It's seen as shallow because women are supposed to put other qualities ahead of physical appearance. Number 2 is softening rejections. Rejecting someone based on their looks is harsh because it's very personal. Letting a guy off because there's no chemistry or because they don't share the same hobbies is easy on his ego because there's hope for the guy. Number 3 is manipulation. Women learn from a young age that their feminine beauty has power over men. They know that some men have no chance with them, but they also know that if they can present it as they can be won over, they can string these men along to continually do favors for them. These men don't have the confidence to get to the point of what they really want, and because they continue to hide their intent, they allow the women to continue to maintain the excuse, I didn't know who was interested, even though these women know all too well of the intent and interest of these men. Now let me ask you a question. What's the biggest thing hurting your dating life right now? Is it because you're not approaching enough girls? Is it because you don't know how to move things forward with girls? Is it because you don't know what to say? All of these are valid reasons, but I'm going to say the biggest thing holding you back right now is most likely the way you look. But the good news is any man can improve his looks. Your looks isn't just your physical body and face, it's also your style.
The biggest thing holding you back, is it your looks? No, it's not. It's not, straight up, right? It's like, this is like, it's, okay, so the biggest thing holding you back from your dating life is that you're not trying to date enough girls, okay? If you never approach women on the street, because like, I don't care where you live. I don't care if you live in like a city, there are plenty of women everywhere. Like literally, like, let's say you're in your room right now. You can go to the supermarket. Women are everywhere. Okay, you can go to the supermarket and see dozens of women. You can go to a shopping mall, plenty of women there, right? Tons of them, okay? If you are not approaching them, right, that's why your dating life is suffering, straight up, right? You can try online dating. You can like get a job where you have exposure to women. But if you like, let's say you just sit in your room all day and you like do this like looks max stuff, like you're like mewing all the time and like you buy a suit and like you work out all the time, what do you think is going to happen? You think women are going to like start like knocking on your door and be like, hello, you know, I saw you walking down the street, I followed you home and you're really attractive, so like let's have sex in your room right now. Is that okay? It doesn't work like that, right? Like I get, what is this, like to get more matches on Tinder or something? Like you still have to talk to them. They still have to like you as a person. You know, they have like, there's, first of all, and again, another thing, doesn't matter how good looking you are, there's always going to be some guy that's better looking. And chances are, no matter how good looking you are, she's already been with a guy who's way better looking than you. Like you'll never get there. You know what I mean? Most like really attractive girls, they've dated like pro athletes or fucking celebrities or like guys who are like actually like 1 in a million. It doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to get there. And again, I don't know if like this guy's channel is about like looks maxing, so like this is like the message that he wants to promote. But what's the problem with this in general? Number one, it's encouraging like defeatist attitudes and behavior, because people are gonna be like, well, I watched this, I'm 5'6" and I'm, you know, kind of chubby, and I'm Indian, so like why should I try? Because girls don't think I'm attractive anyway and I get no matches on Tinder, right? That's like the attitude that this is encouraging, as opposed to encouraging the attitude of like, yes, looks matter, but they're not the only thing that matters. You know, the way you talk, your confidence, your grooming, all this other stuff matters also, and can even matter more than your looks. So get out there and fucking try and stop crying about it like a little bitch. You know, that's a much better message to like to spread. But again, like I said, you know, I've said this in basically all my like red pill videos that I've done. If you want to believe this shit, like you want to like go and like work on like do push-ups in your room by yourself and like not actually get out there and fucking risk your ego and like do some approaches, okay, go ahead, fine. Like you be like beautiful in your room by yourself and be bitter about it, right? Thinking you're like never good looking enough, okay. But I think this is dumb.
Style, fashion sense, grooming, and your attitude also affects the way you look. For me, I had to change my looks entirely, and when I did, my results with women improved dramatically. This was me back in 2012, 7 years ago. I can't believe this is how I used to look like. My fashion style was really bad. My hairstyle was bad. Look at my shoes, I looked like a fob. My posture was bad. My facial expressions were bad. I looked like this, and I was trying to pick up girls. Can you imagine this guy approaching girls and charming them? Can you believe I was studying how to get threesomes? Jeez, I couldn't even get one girl. My priorities were out of whack. I didn't realize I looked so bad. I thought that looks didn't matter, that I didn't have to improve my body or style. I thought that I could just find the magic things to say, but it wasn't the things that I was saying. Sure, the things that you say do impact your approach, but I was failing at the base, which was the way I looked. Needless to say, I rarely got laid back then. Now, this is me 3 years later in 2015. I looked a bit better. My style improved, but my body was out of shape. My results with women improved, but I was not getting the women I wanted. Again, I was focusing on the wrong things. Instead of fixing my looks, I tried to learn how to say more cocky, funny lines, how to approach groups of women, and I still failed miserably. Fast forward another 3 years later in 2018. At this stage, I had done 3 years of CrossFit and 2.5 years of working on my multiple businesses. I worked on my body, style, hairstyle, wealth, and my energy. With energy, this came from hanging out with different people and getting into entrepreneurship and other things. My success with women improved hugely, and I was getting women way more effortlessly compared to 2012. This is me now in mid-2019. Can you believe the difference? On the left, I looked miserable. I didn't look like a guy that has success with women. To get high caliber women, you have to look the part. I'm getting way higher caliber women now.
Okay, obviously much better looking on the right, but you heard that he also like improved a lot of other stuff in his life, and I'm sure his like confidence improved as well. So to say that like let's say you took this personality, right, and you put it in this body, you know, not going to be much of a difference in terms of the results, right? But all of a sudden, if you like improve your confidence, you have multiple businesses, you start like becoming more of a social person, you grow, you mature, like you get a fucking nicer haircut, like all of this stuff, like it matters. You know what I mean? It's not just the looks. Do looks matter? Yeah, of course. Are they the only thing that matter? No. Stop focusing on it is the point, right? Like improve it. Like you heard what he said. He's like, I worked on all this other stuff as well. My looks improved and it was much easier for me to get girls. Yeah, obviously. But was it only because of the looks? No, it wasn't. Like stop crying about it. You know what I mean?
Now that I was 7 years ago. Did I improve my game? Sure. Did I improve my social skills? Yes. Did I improve my wealth? Yes. Did I improve my status? Yes. I worked on all of these things, but a huge thing that I worked on was my looks. If I can go from looking like a loser Asian fob, getting little to no attention from women, to transforming my body, style, and mindset to attracting high quality women, then so can you. Getting dating advice from women. Getting dating advice from women can be helpful, but it's a terrible idea to ask a woman how she likes to be approached by men. When you ask a woman this question, she's not thinking about how an unattractive man would approach her. What really happens is she envisions a man she already finds physically attractive, and how that good-looking man will talk to her. So she'll give advice such as, just say hello, like this.
So I think that one of the things that's like a really good idea, great idea, is to just go up to her and be like, hey, I'm blank your name, whatever your name is, and just be happy about it, be smiling, you know, show that like addictiveness, that you're addictive, because being happy is addictive to people. People want to be around you if you're happy.
So men should not attracted to take on this advice, using the same lines with the same attitude and the same approach, fail miserably and then wonder where they went wrong. The problem with this approach is that it works when a woman finds you physically attractive. If she doesn't, then you don't want to waste your time and instead spend your time with women who do find you physically attractive while improving your looks to get better results for women you meet in the future. Looks is the basis for romance. So figuring out whether a woman finds you physically attractive is key, and you want to figure this out early so you don't waste your time. I'll talk more about this in a future video. Most dating coaches fail because they're oblivious to the truth that looks matter, and they try to take shortcuts with their clients. Working out to get in a better shape, getting the right fashion style, all of these things take a lot of time. Now looks matters hugely.
That's an interesting point. So that is a good point. That is how women would like to be approached by a guy who they find attractive, right? Like honestly, like just like be like a normal person. Well, okay, so it's two things. Number one, women, that rarely happens to women, where a guy just like goes over and is like, hey, how are you? My name is blah blah blah. Nice to meet you. Like, no, who does that? Nobody does that. Let's be honest, okay? So number one, if she, like, let's say she notices you and she thinks you're good looking, she kind of like secretly wants you to go talk to her. If you're like normal about it and you go over there, even if you're like a little nervous, whatever, you go over there, like you introduce yourself, start talking, like after a minute or so, like the nervousness goes away, chat a little bit. If you're like manage to like maintain the conversation and continue to be normal, she'll like stop being so nervous and like everything will be like much better. However, the act of going over and approaching is a display of confidence, and if you're able to do that and not like get riled up or not get nervous and show your nervousness, then that in and of itself will make you more attractive. Okay, that's number one. Number two, just because she doesn't think that you are attractive at first does not mean that you cannot go over there. Let's say you get like maybe a negative reaction from her right away, but if you stay there and you keep fucking talking, maybe you crack a couple jokes, maybe you make her laugh, maybe you tell a story that like shows her that you're not some fucking creepy like, you know, rapist like with your like rape van, and she's like, oh, you know, like actually he's not the type of guy that I normally go for, but he's really funny and I had a really good time with him, and you know, he's like really nice, like, you know what girls say, right? That's also possible. Okay, so like this whole thing about like do looks matter, yeah, he's right. Like if you're good looking, you can just go over and be like, hey, what's up, how are you, you know, and it's much easier for sure. If you're not, I mean, I guess you can do that, but you just have a little bit, you don't start quite so far ahead, right? Maybe you should like, you know, be prepared to work a little bit harder. Fucking crazy thought, isn't it? You know, like what do you expect? I don't know, like I don't know, just finish this.
Western society, but fortunately there's a saving grace. Looks matters less so in Eastern Europe and Asia. It still matters, but less than in Western society. There's many reasons for this, and I'll talk about it in a future video. This is an article on livescience.com discussing a study done by a professor of social psychology. A group of women aged 15 to 29 were asked to select potential dates. They were given photos of the men with personality profiles, and their mums were also selecting for them as well. The results showed that a man's looks had a greater impact than his personality for both mums and daughters, even if the man had amazing qualities such as respectfulness, honesty, and trustworthiness. What they saw was that the women picked the good-looking men first, and then from there they picked the ones with the best personality traits. If the man was not good-looking, he had no chance. Even if he had the best personality traits, it didn't make a difference. The study showed that the women were willing to consider the man's personality after he met a required level of physical attractiveness. If he didn't, his personality made no difference. So in other words, for a man to be...
Okay, so this is the essentially the equivalent of like swiping on Tinder. Okay, if you're on Tinder, you're going to be judged by your looks first, way more than like if you're actually like in a real world like interaction with somebody. Okay, if you're swiping on people, obviously like you're not going to be like, oh wow, this person has a great personality, you know what I mean? You're like, no, ugly, whatever, not my type, too old, fat, whatever, and they're like, oh, she's cute, swipe. Girls do the same thing. Okay, so like obviously, right? And then you read the profile after as like an afterthought, maybe. But again, in like a one-on-one, like real world, actual like go over and fucking risk your ego and approach situation, you have a much actually better chance because you're able to kind of like, okay, think of it like this. On Tinder, for example, this is basically Tinder. On Tinder, she has to swipe right on you. She has to say yes, right? She has to basically be like, yes, I like him, swipe. Otherwise, the system itself won't connect you guys, right? But in the real world, dog, she can't get away from you. Like, you just like walk over there and start talking, right? Simplify it. You walk over, you start talking, and if she's like, you know, leave me alone, she says those words or like calls security on you, you know, then you have to go, I guess. But like, otherwise, you can just stay there and like keep talking. It's maybe a little bit weird, especially if she's like obviously not feeling it. But like 5 minutes of your life to like go over and like talk to somebody and try and display your personality, that's you guys don't understand, that's like the trump card, okay? But yeah, like if you're swiping on Tinder or doing some like personality tests, like, okay, fine. And what do you say, like looks matter less in, did he say Southeast Asia? I think he said Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe. Yeah, I think so. I have no I don't really know. I haven't like checked that, but like those are both like really countries that don't have a lot of money. So I think what he means is like if you're a foreigner over there. I think that's what he means. I'm not sure. But if you're like, if you're like basically a foreigner in Asia, I was gonna say a white guy in Asia, but really like any kind of foreigner, non-Asian foreigner, I guess, and you walk down the street, like you're automatically like higher status in their eyes, right? So yeah, like personality, they just don't care. They're like, oh, he's foreign, I like him. That's it.
Even visible to the girl as a potential option, he needs to have passable looks. I call this a woman's looks threshold. Every woman has a looks threshold that the man needs to pass. This is defined as the minimum level of physical attractiveness a man must meet for the woman to begin her assessment of the man's overall desirability as a potential mate. Now, if this threshold is not met, nothing the man can do, say, or even earns has a noticeable effect. So what this means is that your confidence, sense of humor, witty one-liners, or game, wealth, and even your status does not matter until you meet the woman's looks threshold.
It's not true. This is not true. Straight up. Like, it's not true, right? Okay, so fine. This implies that this looks threshold is fixed and is not a flexible, like a movable thing, right? Or that the perception of your appearance is also fixed and does not move. Okay, those things are not set in stone. Those things are flexible. Let's take an extreme example. Let's say you're very unattractive. You're fat, you're short, you're out of shape, you're fucking whatever, like just disgusting looking physically, right? And let's say her looks threshold is very high, right? And let's say you go and you approach this girl and she's not having it. And notice I said approach, like in the real world. Tinder, you're gonna get nowhere, okay, straight up. Like on Tinder, like I said, looks matter a lot more. It's not the battlefield you wanna fucking go to war on, right? But like I said, in the real world, you walk over, she can't get away from you, unless she calls security or fucking tells you to leave explicitly or like punches you in the face or something. Like you walk over to the person and you stand there and you speak. You do not have to leave until you want to leave. Do you understand? So let's take it, like I said, extreme example. You're ugly, whatever. You go over, you approach, and she's not having it. She's like, oh my God, this guy's disgusting. Why is he talking to me? If you talk and she listens and you make her laugh and she likes you and you crack a couple jokes, right? And you get her, like, you like break down the barriers, what's going to happen? Either her looks threshold will drop or you will become more attractive in her eyes. Okay, so like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like the looks thing is like, to women at least, it's flexible, and honestly also to men. Like, how many times have you met a girl? I don't know, this happened to me many times. You've met a girl, you're not like super attracted to her right away, and then you get to know her, and all of a sudden she becomes more attractive to you. Has that never happened to you? Right? It's like a flexible concept here.
In fact, nothing about you matters in the dating market until you meet the woman's looks threshold. You won't even be in her radar until you meet her looks threshold. Your confidence, sense of humor, and status, etc. do matter, and your overall attractiveness is defined by your looks combined with these attributes. But they matter after you pass the looks threshold. Now, looks alone, though, is not the full equation. If you have an unattractive personality, don't do much with your life, and your approach is bad, you're going to turn the woman off. That's why you see many good-looking men who are bad with women. Money and status do a lot to improve your overall attractiveness. But again, they matter after you pass the looks threshold. Think about it, only women screaming to date Mark Zuckerberg. So hopefully by now you see the truth that looks are very important to women in dating. Your looks make up your first impressions, and oftentimes we only get that one chance to make a great first impression. Your looks can help you command respect and can help you inspire trust in people. More on this in a future video. Lastly, your looks is one of the ways in which you communicate your value and personality. I hope this video bitch slaps you in the face to wake you up to reality, so you start working on improving the way you look, your body, style, grooming, presentation, fashion sense, etc. I had to make this video because I was sick and tired of lame pickup artists telling guys the bullshit that looks don't matter, because they matter and they matter a lot. In the next series of videos on this topic, I'll discuss how race, height, and social media affect today's dating landscape. I'll debunk common arguments people have that looks don't matter, and I'll go through in greater detail on how any man can improve his looks to mate.
Okay. Well, is this over?
I'll also break down the strategies I personally use to date high caliber women. Thanks for watching, guys.
Okay, so again, like, I'm not, do looks matter? Yes. Does money matter? Yes. Does height matter? Yes. Does fucking how popular you are on social media matter? Yes. Does your race matter? Yes. Everything matters, okay? Initially, all right? Initially it matters. If you rank highly on all of those things, you will start with an advantage, okay? Are they the only thing that matters? No, they're not. It's not the only thing that matters, okay? And like, if you believe that they're the only, and I don't know, Aurelio Augusto, whatever, is this like charm theory? I'm not really, let's see here. Such good production, bro. Okay, so there is truth to this for sure, right? Looks do matter, definitely. But the way you dress also matters. Is that looks? I guess. Status matters. Wealth matters. All that stuff matters, okay? I'm not saying it doesn't matter. But again, like I said 5 billion times, it's not the only thing that matters, okay? I really like the RSD guys, and even they'll say looks matter. Obviously they matter, like, for sure. However, case in point, most of those guys, they're under 6 feet tall. None of them are really good looking. I mean, I guess you could say Julian's like kind of good looking. And I guess now Max like has like the whole like tattoos and like cool guy vibe. But Max is like fucking like, he's like 5'6", you know what I mean? You know, all those guys, they're not even like 5'8", you know? They're not good looking guys. They're all kind of like pudgy, but they crush it, right? I guess the one guy, like Madison, like the cool black guy, he's pretty good looking. And I guess you could say Julian. But they're not like fucking genetic. They're not like models or anything. Anyway, final point. Yes, looks matter. Everything matters. But it's not the only thing that matters. And don't let that stop you from trying. Like, again, like I said, what video did I say it in? But like, some people are going to make it, right? You can tell who's going to make it because they believe they can make it, okay? You can, like, whatever you have to do to trick yourself into believing that it's possible. Like, let's say you trick yourself into believing that looks are the only thing that matters, okay? Let's say you believe that and you actually, that belief like actually causes you to go out and fucking looks max, right? And then once you looks max, you believe that that's what matters and you've achieved it, right? Then that confidence will make you like, it'll improve your results, right? But you don't have to do it that way, right? You can believe that looks don't matter or they matter less. And that confidence will fucking make it easier for you too. You know what I mean? But like I said a bazillion times at this point, like, yes, looks matter, everything matters. It's not the only thing that matters, and don't discount the value of confidence, personality, and essentially socially, like dominating a situation socially, so that you are basically like the coolest guy in the room at any one point, which I think is very valuable. Okay, so interesting video. If you guys have any other videos or YouTubers you want me to take a look at, let me know. And again, final thought, like I'm not saying what this guy says is wrong. I just think the way he's presenting the argument is like kind of making it seem like looks are the only thing that matters, even though I know he said that like all this other stuff matters too. You know, it's, I think, putting too much of an emphasis on looks and devaluing the importance of like doing approaches and fucking getting used to like getting negative social feedback so that you can eventually improve your game. Okay? Peace.